Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for Heim. And today we are going to be breaking down my newest addition to my Minecraft Bedrock realm, Heim. This is the Pale Oak District, Pale Oak Village, and well, the newest beautiful piece of 3D architectural design that has been cemented here is the Pale Oak Cabin. I truly tried to flesh out every single face and make them all feel unique and beautiful, but tie into the overall themes of the build, and I think I did a really good job with that. We incorporated 3 main light sources, the oxidized copper lanterns, some white frog lamps which go really well with the stripped pale oak logs, and then we topped off a lot of our needle points of the roof sections with anvils, which is quite a flex because those are kind of an expensive block, and then also some end rods to give it a little bit more light during the nighttime time. And we even have a custom balcony, which the cows are a major fan of, they enjoy it, using some of the new shelves for some bordering on the pillars, and we even incorporated potted plants and hanging moss periodically around the build as well. I'm just quite a fan of this build and thought I should show it off, and even livened up the area with a little bit of movement by incorporating a pond full of some fish. So here we go, this is the external building process of the Pale Oak Cabin. We're going to be extending our roof out from the front face of the cabin. If you guys haven't seen how I created the front face, go and check out the previous video. The front face of the cabin is honestly beautiful, and it gave me a lot of good ideas to kind of mirror and put around on our other faces of our cabin as we go through this build. So it was very good inspiration and to kind of get the tone of what I want the build to feel and look like. And we're just going to be extending out this side of the roof so far because we're going to be having a tower build out from the back side of our cabin here. I have the foundation all laid out, but don't really want to build up the roof yet because I'd have to delete a bunch of blocks. And now that I've figured out the length of how far I want the cabin to extend backwards, I'm going to make a balcony off to the side here. Of course, we're using the beautiful pale oak logs to border our balcony, and we got to keep structural integrity in mind. It makes the builds look more realistic, and it also allows for an excuse to have more details. You don't have to build everything just so, it has functionality. You can definitely build for aesthetic and just build to make things look cooler. Just something that I'm learning. Not everything has to have a meaning and purpose. It can just be, for the aesthetic of the build, be for the lore of how builds and gravity work in real life. And now that I've got my pillars laid out, I'm going to be laying some gates in between the pillars for a little bit of a gutter system or so, connecting to the stairways to give it more depth. I think it's looking really nice so far. I'm a big fan of the stripped pale oak logs. Looks very good. And then we're gonna give it a little bit more girth towards the bottom here with some stairs, and then we're gonna build up to the pillar more by placing some shelves. And obviously we need a way to get up and down from our balcony, and it could be another entrance and exit to the house off here to the side, which will be kind of nice, more accessibility. And we're gonna be busting out the beautiful mossy stairs here, mossy cobble, because it is a really nice little addition to the tone of the build that we're doing here. We don't want it too much, but just for some accenting, and I think using it for the stairway is a very good use of using this tone and colors in the build. Boom, now we can get up and down pretty easily. And then we're going to be placing some diorite walls in line with the pillars, and then we'll be placing gates in between, and that'll give it a cascading gate effect, where the middle gate's a little bit higher than the side gates. And we're just going to do this pattern all the way across our beautiful balcony. That way, if we have anybody over, they get a little bit rambunctious, they won't go stumbling off and tumble into the lands below. That would be quite a shame, and it'd be a party foul, it'd ruin the vibes of the night. Now I'm going to do some bordering with our beautiful pale moss overpowered block to build with. And we're gonna have every single section in line with a pillar, and then we'll fill in the middle with some planks here in between our pillar posts. That way it grows gradually lighter as we work our way inwards from the pale oak logs. Now we gotta kind of give ourselves some more room to work with when we're going up the stairs, because it felt a little bit too narrow. So we're gonna just have another pillar of pale moss to walk on here. And then we gotta, of course, make sure that everything is all lit up, keep the hostile mobs away, keep the wretched creeper at bay. Maybe I should get some cats posted around here too and really ward them off. But I really like these copper lanterns, they look beautiful. And then we're gonna line our staircase with the brand new addition to Minecraft, the half slab, the pale oak shelves. Hey, I'm trying to record a video here, bud. You're getting cleaved. Psh. Okay, so back to what I was doing, making beautiful art in the lands of Heim. Shelves are very versatile. We can use them as guardrails on stairways, guardrails against balconies. We can use them for detailing on pillars, and then also a gradual increase in thickness on pillars and needles as well. Look at how they look on the pillars holding up our balcony and the needle. Now let's get some more framework going on the underwall of our balcony here. Get a framework going with the stripped pale oak logs. Good contrast against the regular pale oak logs. Then we're gonna line all the tent blocks with some shelves. Continue the white border we've got going on. And then some vertical lines of moss that will connect our glass panes together for some windows to look out over our beautiful lands of the Pale Oak Village. And we're also gonna throw in a little bit of darker tones by working with our pale oak logs here. We'll figure out a good pattern to mix all of these colors for the detailing. Really bring this undersection to life. Okay, let's figure out how we want to decorate the side entrance to our cabin. I'm thinking an upside down stair, and then we can do a doorway against the backdrop of that stair and give it a little bit depth as it's pushed back against the entirety of the wall. And then we'll go and place some more logs here, and I'm gonna definitely strip these bad boys down because we want them to all be matching with the overall border, with the top and the bottom with the shelves here that we have going. And gonna delete this block and keep the theme of the white stripped marble look. That's looking pretty good for an entryway, but how do we want to decorate the sides? Let's see if a harsher tones of the unstripped logs look good. And I think the colors look pretty nice together, but it looks a little bit goofy. Maybe if I bring the colors running down onto equal footing with the entryway, and it's all in a line together, it'll look a little bit more uniform. And it does. I think this entrance looks pretty good so far. Now we just gotta work on reciprocating the window. And this underwall is all complete besides the door. Let's go up to the top of our roof here and get some jaggedness going by doing stairs running along and against each other. This will give more detail to the top of our roof, and we'll have a little midsection where we can put another needle, which will be really great for lighting purposes and for more detail as well. So let's get this outpost for the needle. Need to go get some anvils and end rods so we can complete this bad boy. Okay. We'll do a needle in the middle, and then we'll go and do a needle at the end as well. So for the needles, just build up gradually. Put some shelves for some more detailing on the sides, some more width as well. And then the anvil, the diorite fence, and then the regular fence post, and then we'll need end rods. Boom. Let's do another beautiful... Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh no, wasted resources. That is not prosperity. This is going awry. Let's get our awesome anvil. Nothing screams prosperity like using an anvil for decorative purposes and not using it for what it's intended for. Using it for aesthetic, for the build. What is the most abstract block that you like to use in your builds? Like, for example, do you guys like to use crafting tables? Do you guys also find beautiful purpose in using anvils? It's kind of an expensive block, not if you have an iron farm though. Can anybody guess what Heimcraft building technique that I am using with the upside down stairs here? Why, it's the windowsill method, one of the most exuberant and genius Minecraft building designs that has ever been pondered and come up with. Is incredible. Let's get a backdrop to our windowsill, and then we're gonna line the top with some pale moss, some hanging pale moss. That looks really good. And we're gonna need some more windows to look out of from the interior of our cabin. We're gonna have it split with the pale log here, and then we're gonna go and take some black panes and line the sides. That's looking good. Gives it more depth to the wall as well with the windows. Now let's kind of detail out our windowsill. That is what windowsills are for, using the small intricate blocks for a whole lot of color and detailing. So let's get it going. I really like these carpets because they climb up the blocks that they're placed next to. And then now to make a custom plant, pretty difficult design. 2 leaf blocks connecting to a bamboo in a pot. And boom, our windowsill is looking very incredible. Now we got to figure out, how do we want to border our entrance into the second floor from the balcony? And I think we're gonna have to use some L's here. I don't want to hold any L's, but you know, sometimes they look good in the build design. Gonna have the corners cut out with the pale moss though. And let's line the logs down the sides here. Let's extend our L's out a little bit further so they look more complete. And of course we're gonna have to strip those because it looks goofy. Nice. Let's do some pale moss now. And we're gonna want some depth running into the middle of the wall for our doorway. Now that we've got our shelves all equipped and ready, let's do that for the backdrop. And we'll kind of have it tie into a stair here, just for some more 3-dimensionality. Nice, that looks really great. The framework is all centered. We've got our windows, our windowsill, all made on the other side, and so now we gotta just light this bad boy up so that way no home intruders get easy access with their spawn points. Don't want them spawned in here in our cabin. Only peaceful art observers are allowed in this area. Let's get our whole entire tower all sectioned off here so we can build the other half of our roof. Looks a little weird only having half of a roof, but man, it's looking good from the front, it's looking good from the right side. Now we gotta flesh out the whole entire left and the backdrop of our house. So let's get this tower all built up. I think it's a little bit tall on the left side, so we'll bring it down to the right's level. And we're gonna border off all the corners and the ridges with some pale oak logs. And then in between the ridges and the midsection of the side faces, we'll kind of line it with pale moss. Building all the way up, just needed a bunch of bone meal. Having the efficiency 5 scythe was really nice until I dropped it in the ocean while I was flying back to the land, so that was quite unfortunate. Rest in peace, my scythe. I always lose my scythe. I don't know what's wrong with me, I have butterfingers, but what can you do? The foundation's all laid out for the tower though, so I'll be able to build the roof all around it, just like so. Let's get our left-hand L section of the cabin all sectioned and worked out here before we go and finish our tower. I think this is a good start for the foundation. Instead of having a centered entrance, I'm going to be going with 2 entrances on either side, I think. And we're going to be deleting the interior of this tower once we have all of the walls sectioned off, and we'll get a lot more resources back and we'll have more room to work with for the interior design too. But I wanted to just build the foundations of the tower all the way up so that way I didn't mess up the dimensions, and so I could also figure out how to shape the roof around where I wanted the tower to be. But here is where we're going to have our two side entrances on the left hand side here. So let's get our mossy borders going. We're going to build up to it with some stairs. And oh baby, look what's already making a return. The windowsill method. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's looking very good. Get some moss climbing up the walls, get our custom plants, and then we'll have it all shielded from the harsh storms of the Heimcraft realm with our beautiful shelves over here. And I don't want one over there, I'll have to delete it. Looking good though for a border. And we'll have a nice walkway going on with the cobbled stairs. Get some 3D going with the midsection, and we'll hang some lights off to the side just to give it nice tones on the build here. Sweet, I can't wait for these bad boys to oxidize and match the moss a little bit better. And now let's border off our stairs with some vertical slabs just to keep us from falling off really easily. Gonna make a little bit of a framework extending outwards so that our roof can sit on top. Using stairs and half slabs, we were able to make a beautiful support section for the face that will hold the entirety of the roof on top. It's a half slab, full block, and then a half slab at the end, and then we'll do a full block. Oh, that's weird. Where did it place? I don't know. It acted like it placed a block. Boom, boom, and then we'll do an upside down stair. Boom. Oh yeah, that's not upside down. How do you do an upside down stair? I think I need to place the regular stair first, I guess. That, then do an upside down stair. Now, upside down stair, psh. And then we go regular stair again, psh. Upside down stair, psh. Then we go one block, I guess. Then upside down stair, psh. Then two. Perfect. Okay, we met up at the center, so let's take a peek and see if it looks good. I think it looks good, even though it is shifted from a... It looks a little more like of a crescendo in the growing length of the whole thing, instead of it like slowly building up because we had an extra half slab block. But I think it looks really nice. Heck yeah! Heck yeah, this is great. Good framework going, and then we'll build it all the way across, beat up with the side there, and we'll see how it looks. This is like aim lab training. Shroom lights are overpowered, so we're gonna have one in the midsection of our roof here so it'll light it all up. And then we've got to build up some more detailing. And so I'm kind of running the pale oak logs in an L section from the middle along the bottom as well, and then we'll be filling in the interior of the L, and it'll look like a complete patterned wall if there wasn't a roof section here. Oh yeah, because look, it looks like there's an imaginary framework of a rectangle, and then this is like the interior of the rectangle, so all of the lines flow really well together. Very splendid. This is looking... Oh! Ah! Not my beautiful build. Get the heck away, dude. Take that elsewhere, bud. We are not about to have this beautiful project be ruined and desecrated by the vile intentions of a creeper. No, no, no. Stay back. I think that looks good. So we'll fill in the walls, We delete the intersection of the tower here all the way up to there. The final push until we finish the exterior. Let's get some more wall work design done over here. Now that we have the other side complete with a balcony and windows and everything, let's get this wall just as beautiful. It's feeling a little bit left out. So we're going to be using a windowsill, but instead of using small little details on it, we're going to be putting an actual window. Shocking. And what if we turned these stairs? Oh yeah, there we go. Now that's looking spicy. Let's turn this bad boy to a ghost pepper from a poblano pepper, baby. Let's give it some more three-dimensionality by giving it a more rigid roof structure. Heim time is windowsill time. They are the same. A equals B, B equals C, A equals C. It's simple math. Windowsills is beauty, beauty is Heim, Heim is prosperity. Nice. Then let's get out our plant decor, which is these. We place the bamboo in the pot. Do one, then we go two. Oh yeah. It's looking good. And then we could even hang a lamp down. Minecraft is a game of using squares to make beautiful art, and sometimes you have to make mega squares out of little baby squares, and so that's what I'm doing here today. But it's not just any square, it's a square with depth and 3D. Look at that. We have stairs sectioning off, building up to the shelves. Oh, the beautiful glitch of bedrock where I randomly do a 180 flick just happened, one of my favorite glitches of all time. This is the square of the century. You may be asking yourself, how has Mr. K. Borton made such a beautiful square? And well, it's very simple. You have to make sure that every single side is equal in length, and then that's it. Alright, now that I've taught you guys how to make squares, let's go and make some rectangles. So what makes rectangles different from squares is that they aren't equal in length from side to side. They're actually different lengths. So we're gonna have some longer running columns here. We're gonna be stripping these logs bare, and then we're gonna get some more windows going here. So we're gonna have the stairs working as a backdrop to the panes here, and it should give it some more depth, and boom. There we go. We have every single wall complete on this cabin. This is incredible. That means it's time to build the tower. We're gonna drop down and build our way back up to the top using some direct walls. They're a little bit thinner than actual full blocks, so we'll still be getting the colors from the pale oak logs and the pale moss. Now, before we get to actually building our roof, let's get a ridgeline section going for some more detailing by doing some upside down stairs around the circumference of our circle here. And of course, what is a tower without a lookout and vantage point? So I'm going to be replacing these diorite walls that we originally had and putting some end rods, which are also going to serve as a really nice light source for the entirety of this tower as well. And I'm now going to be doing my best impersonation of a traffic cone up here up top of the tower. So I went and I drove around a bunch of construction zones today, and I looked at so many different cones. I looked at short cones, I looked at skinny cones, and what I'm actually going to be doing today is the shorter variation of a traffic cone. So I'm pretty excited because, you know, the blue-collared workers of America are the true unsung heroes. They're the ones who make all the bridges, all the roads. Everything that we use for civilization is because of them, and yet they get paid a fraction of the cost of all of the pro athletes and the people who engage in degenerate societal cultural norms. And of course, we're gonna have to be doing a little bit of a needle. This time we're doubling up the anvils, double the prosperity going, and lighting it all up with a end rod, of course. let's take a look here. So it's looking a little bit like a traffic cone, but what is a traffic cone without its base? We're definitely going to have to widen out the bottom and it'll look a little bit more professional, I would say. So let's just extend out our ridge line here at the bottom. We're not going to extend it all the way. We still want it to feel kind of circular, so we're going to have it just build up around the middle. And we'll go back down to the bottom and see how it all looks. That is all building is, after all, just looking at things from afar and making sure nothing looks weird. And if it does look weird, that means you should probably try and improve it. Yes, I think that shaping looks more like a bell, more like a traffic cone. And that is kind of how we want the tower to be all shaped out. I like how it builds up in different spots as well. Like there's shorter sections in the middle and then it builds up taller and taller. I'm so proud of myself, guys. This is my most intricate and beautiful build that I've ever made in Minecraft. I love Minecraft. It is my favorite game. It's cool to continue to build art, to grow more in scale, to have giant projects to work on, and to learn new tips and tricks to architecture. I added a beautiful koi pond. I feel as though fleshing out the land is a great way to make the builds look more intricate. I'm going to be adding some pathways, some custom trees here soon. I'll show all of that in the final base entirety breakdown when I have a finished interior and finish all of the land around the build as well. But man, every single angle is cooking up a storm. Like and subscribe if you like the Heim journey so far. Thank you all.